Siomra Beag.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sure Look, Sure Listen, the podcast taking a pop at culture.
Sure look, sure listen. Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen. Oh, very good, Benjamin. Sure, look, we have no time or plenty of time for any of that messing that you're getting up to, because we have to look at a number of things that have happened while we've been on an unexpected hiatus, Ben. Benjamin, there's some Witcher drama with The Witcher. There's a rumour going around about The Witcher. Also, there's a new trailer for Avatar 2. This time it's wet. Wet Avatar, Ben, it's called. It's called Damp Avatar. And you've seen a trailer for the new film Spirited Away, I think you meant to write.
No, it's Spirit.
Oh, okay, good. Well, we'll talk about that then, because I don't know what that is. It's presumably something wet.
Sure, listen, Michael, if that wasn't enough, and it really isn't for a weekly comic book club. This isn't a weekly comic book club. I'm all over the place, Michael. Michael, you sent me a text during the week and you said, Ben.
Yeah.
I said, yes, Michael. I said, Ben, we should do biomechanical things. And I went, what's got you on that? And you said, I've been looking at H.R. Geiger's designs and I feel very strange and fuzzy. And I think we should talk about that on the podcast.
Yeah, just in time for Halloween, I said.
Yes, and then you said, and then you just wrote the word penis. And I went,
did,
yes. H.R. Geiger was, in fact, obsessed with an L penis.
And a vagina, Benjamin. He'd have any sort of...
Any sort of organ.
As long as it was some sort of sexy bit and something could come out of it and get you, he was there for it.
Yeah, a bit of sexy.
Something a bit sexy, Ben, but then something's going to come out of it and get you. But look, we'll talk about that later, because speaking of someone sexy coming to get you, is it true, Benjamin, that Henry Cavill has left The Witcher because he's going to come and join the podcast for season 3?
Yeah, so Michael, I'll be stepping down from the podcast next month. Well, January, to be honest. And luckily, Michael, I've found you someone who's almost as good. Probably not as famous, probably not as popular, probably not as adored by nerds as me.
Taller though.
A good bit taller, Michael. And some would say a good bit built more like a barn door.
A little bit more muscular, Benjamin. I think he's only around 86, 87 kilos. A lot of that's Hollywood, Ben. He's not that big in real life.
It's a lot of Hollywood shimmy sham, is it?
It's a lot of Hollywood whizzle wazzle, as they say.
As they say. He'll be joining the podcast in January, Michael. I don't know what he's going to make of you, but I just gave him a call and I said, look, you know the way we make a world famous nerd podcast?
Yes.
He said, oh yes, I listen to it quite regularly. Yes, it's wonderful.
Yes, here on the island of Jersey, where I'm from.
And I said, well, look, I'll have to be stepping down. He said, oh no, the podcast won't be the same. I was like, I know, Henry, but I think maybe it might be just about passable with you involved. And he's like, absolutely, what an honor. And he said, right, I've got to go and cancel all my other things. And so now he's leaving The Witcher.
He reloaded his arm cannons, Ben. He reloaded his arm cannons. He rolled up his sleeves and he said, right, let's get down to podcasting. He's doing a character now.
Yeah, he's doing a Cockney geezer for some reason. Michael, we got the news this week that Henry Cavill, will be leaving The Witcher in season 4. To which I went, hold the fucking phone.
Hold on, what's going on now?
Has there been a season 3? Did I fucking miss it?
It's in post-production.
What the fuck?
They're doing it now, Ben.
Do people watch The Witcher?
Yes, they do. People do watch The Witcher. I don't think as many people watch The Witcher as some of the bigger sci-fi fantasy series, like A Game of Rings or Lord of the Thrones.
Lord of the Thrones, yes.
Yeah, but people definitely do watch The Witcher. But, Benjamin, here's the interesting thing. The interesting thing is the goss behind it.
Yes, there's a lot of goss here, Michael.
There's a lot of goss, Ben, from our man on the inside, Benjamin, and I don't mean Henry Cavill, who, you know, to go with the conceit you set up earlier, would be the ultimate man on the inside.
It really would.
Yeah, but Benjamin, apparently what it is he likes The Witcher and the writers don't like The Witcher, and he's like, if you're not going to write The Witcher, I'm going to go. And they're like, yeah, I'd like to see you try, Henry Cavill. Who's the real superstar here, you or us nerds who write The Witcher and don't like The Witcher?
So yeah, it's really interesting here, Michael, and it's probably important to clarify which Witcher we're whining about.
Yes, go on.
the Witcher that Henry Cavill loves is the books by Andrzej Sapkowski. I definitely got that wrong, but not 100% wrong. It's pretty close.
No one will be able to tell.
The original Polish books by the author, I'm just going to say Andrzej because I know his first name properly. Henry Cavill is like, yeah, love that Slavic-based.
Henry Cavill's not reading them in Polish, is he, Ben?
He might be. He seems like that kind of toss bag.
Yeah. Oh.
He seems like the kind of man who's like, oh well, nothing compares to the original Polish.
Yeah, I can't read them, of course, but I've got a Polish fellow who translates them for me.
He just has a Polish lad read them to him.
Yeah, this is Marek.
While he's building PCs. He's like,
or painting his Warhammers.
Stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, he's a huge fan of the original source material, Michael. Not to be confused with CD Projekt Red's kind of elaboration on that world. He is a dyed-in-the-wool Witcher fan from the book days.
My understanding was it was the games that got him into it, Ben. But look, we won't haggle over that.
We can if you want, but we'll do
it
at
I
the end of the
I don't
podcast.
want to haggle over it because it's not. This isn't a Henry Cavill celebrity gossip podcast.
It is absolutely 100%.
Yeah,
especially from January onwards. That's how I got him on board. You're just gonna have to talk about him.
He just wants to shut it down, does he? He's like, oh, we're not going to talk about me anymore. We're going to talk about my new film.
Yeah, there's going to be a fantastic new segment called "This movie would have been better if I'd been cast in the lead," and then we're just going to talk about Top Gun.
Yeah. The Hunger Games.
Lord of the Thrones.
All 6 series of Lord of the Thrones.
Yes. A Ring of Ice and Fire. Lots of these kind of things, and he's just going to talk about how he would have been better.
Oh, it's me, Jon Snow. Hold on while I reload my sword.
Very good. You just punch your mic.
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry.
Anyway, so he has had massive creative differences. Apparently, this is not the first murmur we've had of this, Michael. There are previous writers on the show who have come out and very openly said that the original source material is often mocked and kind of laughed at in the writer's room. To which I would say, Michael, it's interesting that you've taken a beloved international series and you think you can mock the writing and do something better with a Netflix budget. But that's interesting. But Michael, the good news is they found a man of equal caliber, fame and status to take his place. They've only gone and gotten Hemsworth.
Oh my God, Chris Hemsworth.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? A Hemsworth that people actually wanted. No, it's the unwanted Hemsworth. It's bloody Liam.
Luke Hemsworth.
No, it's the other unwanted Hemsworth.
Oh,
it's bloody Liam. I haven't seen Liam Hemsworth in anything in years.
I believe he was in The Hunger Games, Benjamin. I believe he was in the film I'm Married to Miley Cyrus.
That was a film that he was in, yes.
I think he was in several other films which I have not seen.
I cannot honestly say that I consider Liam Hemsworth to be a movie star. I don't know.
Well, then the good thing he's gone to TV then, isn't it?
Yeah, he's gone straight to TV. Straight to
there,
direct
Liam.
video.
Yeah. Look, Benjamin, it's not like the Witcher is Henry Cavill anyway. He's just wearing a white wig and grunting and being grumpy. Anyone could do that. You could do that.
I'd rather not, though.
You wouldn't want to get in shape, Benjamin. You'd be very reticent about it.
I would, Michael. It takes a lot of work to be a Witcher.
Yeah. I'd be there and I'd be going, Benjamin, give me 100 sit-ups. And you'd be like, hold on, Michael. Maciek has to finish reading this chapter to me first. And then I'm going to paint some of my Adeptus Custodes. And then I'll do 25 push-ups. That's where I'm drawing the line.
That's where I'm drawing the line. That's where it's over for me. Come here to me. One of the interesting things about this is I'm surprised that The Witcher is getting a season 3 or a season 4.
Yeah, look, it seems to be sticking in the public consciousness. Benjamin, you can't tell. You can't tell what's Netflix
Michael.
up to.
I just really didn't think the last season was any hot shakes, Michael, but there you go.
Well, a lot of people's biggest complaint about it, Ben, was that there was very little of The Witcher in it.
There's very, very little of Henry Cavill.
Yeah. So maybe he's like, I thought this was supposed to be about me. I only like things that are about me.
Yes, so, welcome to our brand new segment. That would have been better with me in it.
Yeah, and the next week we're going to talk about The Witcher season 3.
We'll actually be changing the name of the podcast to the Henry Cavill and Michael Show.
That'd be good.
We're going backwards.
That'd be good. People will enjoy that. Benjamin, that's enough of The Witcher anyway.
Yeah, that's who wants so much Witcher in their watching. It's silly. Michael,
What is it?
speaking of one cultural irrelevance to another,
You're really taking people down a peg this week, Ben.
I'm teaching him a lesson, Michael. I'm teaching him a lesson. Come here to me.
Yes, go on.
Avatar.
Avatar, yeah.
No cultural footprint.
Oh, no, Aang.
Sorry. let me get it. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Massive cultural footprint.
Aang.
Korra.
Momo.
Momo. Bloody Appa.
Appa, that's who I meant, I think.
Appa the Bison.
Yeah.
Bloody
the
Fire Lord
Nation.
Ozo.
Yeah, the Fire
Ozai.
Nation. Yeah.
Bloody Zuko.
Zuko, yeah.
The internet's favourite Uncle Eero.
Yeah. Lesbianism.
Yes, hinted at lesbianism, later to be solidified in canon by a comic book. Yes, very good.
Yeah. All sorts of great stuff coming out of that.
All sorts of great stuff coming out of that. It's interesting that you say that, Michael, because there's another Avatar, you know.
Oh, go on.
Yeah. So, noted demented madman Ridley Scott decided, do you know what I'll do?
It's James Cameron, Ben. I can't let you...
It's noted demented madman Ridley Cameron. He
Now, I think it is fair enough to mix up Ridley Scott and James Cameron. I think if you're going to mix up two demented, senile directors, they're the two to go for.
James Cameron, Michael, a couple of years ago, nearly a decade and a half ago now, is it? A long
2009.
2009.
Oh shit, sorry, there was a conceit where I didn't know what Avatar was. I don't know. When was it?
So, Michael, have you ever seen Dances with Wolves?
Oh, with Kevin Costner.
With Kevin Costner, yes.
The best thing to ever come out of Navan.
The best thing to ever come out of Navan, Kevin Costner. So, yeah, once upon a time, Michael, James Cameron obviously went and watched this film. He's like, this is good. This is good. I like this. I like this whitewashing of a culture. I like this kind of white savior narrative going on. I quite enjoy that. I like the destructive presence of the industrial complex. I'm enjoying these vibes. But, what if they were blue?
Blue aliens.
And then you made weird elongated alien people that are a pastiche of any kind of native tribe, and he called it Avatar, Michael. And, you know, everybody watched it when it came out, because if there's one thing James Cameron loves, is it's changing cinema forever with a brand new revelation. It's a thing he's obsessed with.
Yeah, he's a big man for spectacle, isn't he?
He's a big man for spectacle and very little else, Michael. So we got Avatar, and it features all your favourite tropes. It featured Sigourney Weaver in a sci-fi.
Sigourney Weaver is one of my favourite tropes, Ben.
Yes. It featured Zoe Saldana screaming at things.
Oh, yeah, she's always at that. She's like, get off our planet, or get back onto our planet, or whatever.
Yeah, it featured a very angry white man with a big machine.
Oh, the big angry white man with the big machine thing, fella.
It features the evils of corporate America.
Yeah.
Although at that point, I think it's corporate Earth.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking weird, man, isn't it? It's a weird concept.
No, it's not a weird concept, Benjamin. It's a boilerplate concept.
It's a boilerplate concept, Michael. So anyway, the humans can transfer themselves into genetically modified avatar bodies. I think they're called the Navi, aren't they?
They are called the Navi, yeah. Are you? I can't tell if you're doing a bit or you don't. You're actually unclear on this.
No, I'm unclear on what they're called.
Okay,
I cannot stress enough, Michael, that Avatar made no impact on me whatsoever. I struggle to remember any part of this film.
You've got a kind of Avatar blindness.
An Avatar blindness. And Michael, lo and behold, a couple of years ago we heard rumours that Avatar 2 was coming. It's been coming for years. It's like, oh, I've got the funding now. And everyone was just like, James, just why don't you go sit in the wheelchair by the window and look at the nature?
Yeah, people were saying to him, James, look, I'm sure we'll see Avatar 2 around the time we see The Rock's Black Adam.
Yeah.
Add it to the list of things that's never going to happen.
And that's gotten really awkward lately.
Yeah, look, 2022 is the year of things happening that everyone thought would never happen.
Yeah, it's a weird pop culture bingo card that keeps on dishing out. So we got Avatar 2 trailer this week, Michael, and it features all your favourite things.
Wetness.
Zoe Saldana screaming at people.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's it, actually. That's all I remember from the trailer.
There was a good bit of wetness.
There was a good bit of wetness. Michael, this one's called bloody Avatar, The Way of Water.
Yes, Benjamin, I have a theory that James Cameron, because he goes by Jimmy C, is obsessed with the sea.
Jimmy C, S-E-A. It doesn't even have any
Jimmy
actual
C. Yeah. It's nothing to do with his name being James Cameron. He just goes, it's Jimmy C, because he's always talking about the sea.
Yeah. Bloody dickhead.
Benjamin, what have you got against James Cameron and or Ridley Scott?
I actually have less against Ridley Scott than I have against James Cameron. I just think James Cameron's a bit of a dose.
But Benjamin, he made some of the greatest films of all time.
Go on.
Your favourite, Avatar.
Yeah, great film. Not.
Yeah, no, it's Benjamin's the highest grossing film of all time.
Yeah.
Possibly even when adjusted for inflation.
No, he beat the old Endgame boy, or Endgame beat him, didn't he?
No, then he beat them again in the constant re-release cycle.
Oh, so he's cheating. He's juking the stats, so to speak.
Well, the Endgame boys did that as well, Benjamin, and even Casablanca did that too. So look, you can't.
Everybody does it.
Everybody does it. If everybody does it, it's not cheating. Just like steroids in professional sports. Benjamin.
Yes.
What was I saying?
You were talking about the trailer.
Oh, Jimmy C. He's done Titanic, Benjamin, your favourite.
I do like Titanic.
One of your favourites. You love Billy Zane in it.
I wanted Billy Zane to win.
Yeah, because he was better, yeah.
Yeah, because he was better.
You just always support the middle classes, Benjamin, because you're...
I do. I'm all for the middle classes. Up the middle class.
I'm on the middle classes, Benjamin. I tell you what, Ben. Did you see that thing about the Irish football team who were saying up the Ra?
Oh, that was so silly, Michael.
We could get in so much trouble if someone went back and listened to our podcast.
Luckily, we don't have anywhere near the same cultural impact
as
the bloody women's Irish football team.
You're deeply fucked, though, if you ever run for president. Someone just needs to go back and find you talking about the Ra on the podcast. Benjamin,
yeah.
It's got Jimmy C. He's also doing the Terminator, Benjamin.
Oh, he did a Terminator. I forgot about a Terminator.
He also did the Terminator 2, one of the best science fiction films of all time.
Yeah.
He didn't do the Terminator 3, Benjamin, because he insisted on it being wet. He wanted to call it Wet Terminator. But we were like, I don't know if they'll work in the water, Jimmy C. And he's like, all right, fine, I'll just make them aliens. Benjamin, he's got a daughter now. Sully's got a daughter. Jake Sully. He's got a daughter.
Yeah, I think arguably, Michael, we might, if we were to look at that trailer, we could probably piece together what happens in this. You said it very, very quickly. We do a little spoilers prediction.
Oh, go on.
You think that Zoe Saldana's character is going to die in the tradition of Zoe Saldana characters?
Yeah, in the great tradition of every Zoe Saldana character, she's going to die.
I think the scene we see at the end of the trailer is actually the beginning of the movie. And I think, on the ship where it's like, what does he say? Something about heart to heart, some shite like that. Yeah. I think she dies in that, and then he's a single father.
Yeah, that seems to be the way it's going
in the Navi world. I think we've got a lovely bout of more whitewashing. I'd love to know what the native people of Aotearoa think of the Maori Maka being used on digital characters. There better have been some serious consultation.
Look, Benjamin, they're slightly different Navis. These are more of a kind of a teal Navi.
Yes, these are a Pacific Islander Navi.
Is there going to be intra-Navi racism then? That's what I'm dying to see.
I think there definitely is, because we see a little young tree Navi say, we're outsiders. Yeah. And it's like, you're all blue. Get over it.
No, they're different shades of blue, Benjamin.
They're all different shades of blue.
They're all different shades of blue. That's the thing.
Bloody
There could be all sorts of racisms.
Michael, one of my favourite things is I went to the comments on the trailer because I've recently found out that quite often companies pay quite a bit of money for comments. On the first two comments, one is the fact that they developed an entirely new motion caption software just for the underwater scenes in this movie is incredible, with an exclamation mark. Can't wait to see this. That's from Hecker 3 days ago. I think that's bullshit, Michael, and the reason I think that's bullshit is the next comment directly under that is the fact that they actually had the actors to free dive and hold their breath and developed an aqua underwater camera for this whole other dimension for the movie industry. This one's going to make history! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
That sounds like shill media, Ben. Is that what you're saying?
And then the third comment, Michael, is it's not a movie, it's a sneak peek into another dimension. And again, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. This is shill media in the extreme, Michael. I love that the top two comments start with the fact that, and Benjamin, then talk about the technological achievements of the film.
You hold your horses for a second. Why are they paying shill media? We will do it, Jimmy C. We'll shill anything.
We'll shill anything.
Benjamin will get on any comments thread you want and shill for you.
Some of them are definitely paid for by James Cameron personally as well, because one of them is I have not been this excited for a film in a long time. Finally, that's from Brittany Kirby. The first one came out over 10 years ago. Imagine how good this one is going to look. Again, I really enjoy that even the shill media is like, imagine how good it's going to look, not how good it's going to be.
Yeah, it's just going to look pretty good.
It's just going to look pretty good. And the last one that I'm going to read out to you, Michael, because it was definitely paid for, by James Cameron. James Cameron, to me, is a certified genius. The man's vision is absolute incredible.
Hashtag
Not absolutely.
Posting this. Hashtag posting this from my submarine. Does it have glub 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 written in it?
Air bubble.
Jimmy sees himself underwater. Benjamin, look, I don't know if there's going to be a plot. The plot looks like it's going to be the humans are back and they're bad, and us, the Na'vi, we have to overcome racism and single parenthood.
Oh, not single parenthood.
To do a big team up and get rid of the humans again.
Yeah. Look.
We'll go see it. We'll go see it, Ben.
We're going to have to go see it, Michael, because we run a weekly pop culture podcast.
Benjamin, you're always saying that, but I don't think you've been to the cinema in about a year.
What's
the last film you saw in the cinema?
That's a good question.
What's the last film you saw in the cinema? I think COVID scared you off the cinema.
I haven't been to the cinema in a long time, Michael. I want to see the Banshees of Inisherin. I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it. You know what I did see, though?
What did you see?
I saw Barbarian.
Was it good, Michael?
It's very interesting.
Go on.
Was it good?
Give me your late review of Barbarian.
It's not that late. I think it only came out last week or the week before.
Okay, give me your review of Barbarian.
I thought it was good.
But
there's a couple of buts. The monster is not terribly exciting. The monster is a bit generic.
Is it a monster?
Well, I'm being vague.
We'll do a spoilers. You want to do spoilers?
Do you want to do a spoilers?
Yeah, okay, I don't mind, Michael. I'm not going to watch it.
Well, okay, now hold on a second. The first half of it is very good.
Very good.
The first half is very good, where a young lady shows up at a house and, as you would expect, is terrified to find Bill Skarsgård there.
You would be. Bill Skarsgård is a very scary man.
Well, I think it's a bit of spectacular casting to cast Bill Skarsgård, because he's right on that line between, this is undeniably a tall, handsome, attractive man, and also, but does he have buggly eyes?
He does have buggly eyes.
Does he have buggly eyes? Is he going to leap out and kill me?
Yeah, he is.
So the tension of the young lady ending up through circumstance sharing accommodation with Bill Skarsgård is great. And then the follow-on to that of finding out what's going on down in that creepy-ass basement.
What is even going on down in that creepy-ass basement?
What is going on down in the creepy-ass basement, Ben? All sorts of creepy-ass stuff. And then that first section ends with almost a kind of Blair Witch-esque sudden bout of violence.
Oh, that's good.
And we're taken away from that. And, you know, that's probably about 45 minutes, that section.
That's a solid chunk of a film.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really, really good. Very atmospheric, very well shot, compelling, intriguing.
Intriguing, you say?
Then we cut and we follow your favourite character actor, Justin Long.
Okay.
The man who either isn't afraid to humiliate himself on film, or is
Gets
not
off
being
on
giving any, or is not. Yeah, there's that option as well, I suppose, or isn't being given the choice anymore. But anyway, he plays a guy who's, let's put it this way, Ben, he's a little bit rapey.
Oh,
yeah, and he's a minor Hollywood actor, and he has raped a co-star.
Oh.
But he's like, oh, it wasn't rape though. It was she consented, and okay, maybe she said no. So he's no use basically.
He's no use.
He's no use in a very modern Hollywood way.
No.
So it turns out that it's his house, the house that the lady and Bill Skarsgård were in.
Right.
And then he goes to investigate what's going on. So then we get 30 minutes of him doing the same thing.
Oh.
And it slows down a little bit because he's not very compelling and he's kind of gross and...
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Do you get what I'm saying? And he has practically the same adventure. But I think maybe part of the interest in it is that there's no tension when it's him.
Okay.
Because he is quite gross.
And Bill Skarsgård isn't there.
Yeah, and Bill Skarsgård isn't there.
Mm.
But also, like, we don't really care if Justin Long's character gets smacked over the head with a pan, say.
Yeah, that's grand.
Well, that's your take on it, Ben.
Well, he's a man who deserves a pan. What can we say?
Good whack of a pan. But anyway, so, yeah, they end up all being captured by whatever's going on and having to do a big escape and have a traditional, like, running around chasing each other sort of thing.
Okay, now give me a spoiler. What's actually happening?
There's a lady and she lives under the house and she's inbred through generations and generations. And instead of making her all gross and knobbly, it's turned her into some sort of... have you ever seen the film Mama?
Yeah.
Do you remember the creature from that?
Yeah.
I think it's the same creature.
Okay.
So it's... she lives under the house. And she's gross. And she'll kill you. But the thing is that she wants them. The kind of twist is that she doesn't really want to kill them. She wants them to be her babies.
Oh, that's gross and horrible.
Yeah. So she's breastfeeding Justin Long.
Oh no!
whether you want it or not.
Oh God!
And I think it's a commentary on consent, Ben.
Oh.
The whole time I watch it, I'm just thinking, the poor the actor Justin Long.
Poor the actor Justin Long, man.
And he's so good at it. He's so good at it. I ended up watching the film and going, oh God, I don't like that Justin Long guy. That whole rape thing is a bit creepy. And I thought, oh no, hold on.
That Justin Long is an actor.
Yeah. But yeah. So it's good. It's spooky and scary, especially the first half. The first half where it's the lady and Bill Skarsgård is great stuff.
Okay, so it's half of a good film.
Yeah, no, I mean the second half isn't terrible either. The second half is an above average horror film as well. So overall, it's well above average horror film. It's a good movie. I had a good time watching it.
I'm going to look up the Barbarian monster now.
Yeah, it's imagine the monster from Mama, but in the nude.
Oh, that's worse.
I'm trying to breastfeed you.
It's funny enough, if you try and do an image search for Barbarian monster, you just get a bunch of D&D paintings.
Yeah, don't search Mama nude, Ben.
No, I will not be searching that. Thank you.
Very upsetting.
Especially
not if you're using your dad's computer.
Yes, because I've always used my dad's computer for this podcast.
Yeah, don't open his folder, Ben, marked not porn.
I see the internet had a field day with Barbarian. The true monster is men is quite often the headline for all of these. Yeah. Looks like you were correct.
Yeah, I was correct. I've seen it, you see.
I can't seem to get any pictures of the monster, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's a big nudie lady, Ben.
I'm alright. I can probably live without it, Michael.
Yeah.
It's great.
Anyway, look, that's the end of Halloween now.
It's all over now.
What's happening for Christmas?
Michael, in continuing in his conquest to be in every film ever, Ryan Reynolds is giving us a brand new take on A Christmas Carol.
Oh, very good.
Arguably starring two of America's royalty, Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
And Henry Cavill.
And Henry Cavill as the Witcher. So Will Ferrell is the ghost of Christmas Present. And Ryan Reynolds is an exec who's a bit of a dickbag.
Oh, he's like that film where he swapped bodies with that man.
Yeah, The Change Up.
Is that what that was called? With Olivia Wilde in it?
Yeah, Patrick Bateman is probably in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think he is. Oh, I saw that other one as well. It's not much good, to be honest.
What other one?
Don't worry, darling.
Don't worry, darling. Any good?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
Guess who the real villains were?
Was it women?
No,
it was men.
It was men. Yeah.
We're not great. I'll be honest, Michael.
No, we're really getting it.
If Hollywood has taught me anything, it's that we're not great.
Yeah, we're really getting it now.
Yeah, right in the... well, we probably deserve it. We've had it very good for very long.
Yeah. You look at you there on your dad's computer, the cheeky. Benjamin, Ryan Reynolds, anyway, he's playing a smarmy exec again.
He's playing a smarmy executive, Michael. It's a musical. The twist, I guess, on the traditional Christmas Carol story is that the ghost of Christmas present, ghost of Christmas past, and the ghost of Christmas future, they're kind of part of a corporate entity that does this all the time to people.
Oh, very good. Are you saying ghost or grossed?
Grossed.
Okay, very good.
Grossed, which is a type of American ghost. It's just a little bit nasty. Grossed.
I thought it was a Scottish ghost.
Grousty. Yeah, so that's a grouse.
Okay.
But yeah, in general, Michael, it seems to be a thing. Ryan Reynolds is very resistant because Will Ferrell is very human and he keeps making a mistake and he keeps having to go back to the board of directors in this company and be like, he just won't change. He won't change who he is. Because Ryan Reynolds is sticking to his guns. Ryan Reynolds makes a very good point at the beginning of the film, and it's in the trailer, where Will Ferrell is explaining why he's being haunted, and Ryan Reynolds just goes, really, murders, rapists, all the other things, but I'm the one who has to change my ways. It's me. And I was like, yeah, that's a fairly solid point.
What is he up to? Is he just a bit of a grump?
He's just a bit of a Christmas grump, a bit of an executive dick.
What are you doing there? You're putting on some lip balm?
Putting on some Carmex lip balm.
Oh, you are putting on some lip balm.
If Carmex wants to sponsor this podcast, what's going on my screen? What's that?
I don't know. There's a weird shimmer.
There's a weird shimmer. Weird. What's going on my screen?
Reality's falling down.
Ah, well. It's probably a groasty.
So he's a bit of a Christmas grump. So it's a special. But I mean that's not a great point, Ryan Reynolds, because I mean that's like saying why would I throw out my bins when there's a war in Ukraine?
Yeah, fairly solid.
Come on,
solid sideways logic there, Michael. It's coming out from Apple TV, not Netflix, for a change.
Oh.
Apple TV, which I think is slowly becoming one of the best streaming on demand content creators. They're making great stuff over at Apple TV, Michael.
I don't have it. That's the one I don't have. What else are they making?
They did. You and I, one of you and I's favorite shows of the year, Severance.
Oh, Severance. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Severance. They've done Bad Sisters, Michael, which is an Irish-based bloody romp where a bunch of sisters kill their husband's abusive husband. Or killed their sister's abusive husband.
Oh, who were the real baddies all along that time?
Men.
Oh, it was men, right. Yeah, it was men. That's what I thought.
I think we should change the name of this podcast to The Real Baddies.
Yeah, or
it's just two men with a microphone.
Yeah.
That'd be good. But anyway, yeah, so they're doing loads of great stuff, Michael. They just put out a good one with Ethan Hawke and bloody Ewan McGregor. I can't remember the name of it now. I think it's called Ray. But they're making great little miniseries, Michael. Well done to Apple TV.
Benjamin, is this where that viral clip from about a year and a half ago of Will Smith and Ryan Reynolds going, I could be blue, I could be...
yes, Will Ferrell, but yes.
What did I say?
Will Smith.
Did I say Will Smith?
He said Will Smith. Will Smith's not allowed to act anymore.
That'd be great. It'd be like, I could be blue, I could be yeah. We could both be blue. That's what Will Smith.
Miami.
Miami. Second home. Wild, wiki, wild west.
Will Smith is not allowed to act anymore.
Oh, is he out? He's out of Hollywood,
He's out.
Is he?
He's out with the gang. So that's Spirited, Michael. Do you know what I found, though, watching the trailer? Do you know what I really felt was missing?
Zooey Deschanel.
Well, she'll probably make it a cameo. She's Christmas royalty at this point. But Michael, do you know what? I found myself looking. Do you know what? There is no unnerving, monstrous kind of creation of phallic representation here, and I feel it's really lacking for it as a trailer.
Oh yeah, other than Will Ferrell. Obviously.
Other than Will Ferrell, who actually might be the most phallic representation.
Yeah. He's a throbbing cock. Benjamin.
I wasn't ready. Yeah, go on.
Benjamin.
What?
The reason that we bring this up for Halloween 2 weeks too late is I have been playing a video game. Have you ever heard of video games, Ben?
They're those newfangled things that the kids are playing.
Newfangled jibby jabbies, Benjamin. I've been playing a video game called Scorn.
Oh, that's got a whole bunch of gross flesh.
Yeah, it's like you're surrounded by Will Ferrell just constantly. Benjamin, I've been playing the video game Scorn. Yeah. Is it good? I don't know, Ben. I don't know if it's any use.
What's it about?
It's about you are some sort of man
I am.
Yeah, you or the player. One.
Oh, okay,
One,
I see.
One is some sort of man. I don't think you're a lady because you have man hands.
Man hands.
Man hands. That was my nickname in college, Ben. That's why I'm going to be cancelled. So you're some sort of man, Benjamin, and you're trapped in some sort of awful biomechanical nightmare.
Oh,
It
gross.
seems to be some sort of giant hellscape factory
Okay,
where you're just going around solving puzzles and fighting monstrosities.
I see.
And is it good? It's all right. But that's not what really caught people's attention about it, Benjamin.
What's caught people's attention about it then?
What's caught people's attention for it in the month that's in it especially
Halloween.
is how gross and horrible and biomechanical everything is.
To which H.R. Geiger's ghost said, "That was me.
That was me, I did that. He said it like this. That was me, I did that.
Yes. So, Michael, that's where your strange phallic penis text came from.
One of them.
One of them, yeah. The other ones come from your imagination.
Yeah, that was just
horrific stuff.
I was up at I just texted you at 3 a.m, Ben, and said, "Are you up?"
Yo, you up? What you doing?
You awake? And then I just started
God.
texting you horrible Geiger-esque nightmares.
You are now, bitch. Throwing them at me. Michael, that got us into the territory of we've never actually talked about H.R. Geiger on this podcast.
Which is mad.
We've come close. We've talked about it now, cosmic horror. But Michael, you hit the nail on the head there a few minutes ago when you said biomechanical horror. That's what it is. It's gross and nasty biomechanical ick.
Yeah, so in Scorn, for example, Benjamin, there are all sorts of gross machines.
Yes.
Where you might find a machine and the machine might be, it looks kind of like a hand, but a skeleton-y hand. And then the cables are on the hand, but the cables are in the position of and performing the functions of muscles.
Yeah.
And there's something dripping off it for some reason. And then that might go over mechanically, like a crane, and pick someone up and bring them and put them into some sort of chamber.
Yeah.
And then when they're in that chamber, things will fold over across them, kind of like a membrane.
Yeah.
And then a big metal thing will just go crunch and blood will come out.
It'll be real nasty.
Horrible stuff, Ben.
Horrible stuff, Michael.
Biomechanical nightmares.
Biomechanical nightmares sending shivers down your spine. So H.R. Geiger is really the Mac Daddy of this weird genre of horror. It's all him.
It's funny, isn't it? Because in a way, a lot of the times we talk about these things, one of the people that I compare to Geiger, even though they're in different genres and different, maybe it's just because they both have similar names, is H.P. Lovecraft.
There's no doubt about it that, Lovecraft wrote his weird Lovecraftian stuff, and there's a definite inspiration there. I think the difference being is H.R. Geiger's is very much a post-industrial take on it.
Well, that wasn't where I was going. Where I was going was, when we talk about H.P. Lovecraft, hugely political Lovecraft, as he was known.
Yes.
It's because it was more than 100 years ago. There are all sorts of imitators and mythoses that have spun out from Lovecraft.
Yeah.
But Geiger, really, 50 years is all we're talking about here.
It's very small.
Very small spread of time. So generally things which are Geiger-esque, Ben.
Yes.
Or Giger-esque. I prefer Geiger-esque.
I prefer Geiger-esque, Michael. I'll be sticking with Geiger-esque for this one.
Generally things which are Geiger-esque are either done by Geiger...
Yes.
Or one step removed.
One step removed, usually because the movie company wants to make more money and not give him attribution, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Because he's dead, you see. But like Scorn, for example, you can very much trace Scorn back by 1 degree and go, oh yeah, that's Geiger.
Yeah.
I think maybe in a few more years, as things get, as people say, are inspired by Scorn, without knowing of Geiger, they might make things which are kind of Scorn-esque.
Yeah, but are
And that
actually
will be-
just 2 degrees removed from
Exactly, that's what I'm
Geiger.
saying. And like, if you look at that from the H.P. Lovecraft lens, there are loads of things from the H.P. Lovecraft lens that are 5, 6, 7 times removed,
But they're there.
but it's still there. So
yeah.
it's kind of interesting to be nearly, because I came out in the same year or slightly after Alien came out.
Yeah, limited edition. Haven't made
yeah,
one
yeah.
since.
Exactly, Benjamin. But we're pretty much there at the beginning of this seeping into pop culture.
Yeah, just creeping its way on in there. It's kind of interesting because I suppose when we talk about, you know, Geiger's biggest contribution to cinematic history, you have to talk about Alien, because that's exactly where he got his start. And he was very open. He passed away in 2014, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. But he was very open about how his fame was directly tied to Alien. He really believed by the end of his life that if Alien hadn't come out, he wouldn't have been as successful as he was, and he was very firm in that. But it's funny because it's a chicken and egg situation with that, because Ridley Scott, when he was making Alien, came across one of Geiger's airbrush paintings, which
He
was
probably literally came across it, did he?
it's entirely possible. It was Necronom number 4.
Yeah, from the Necronomicon.
And so Geiger had put out a collection of his weird satanic biomechanical illustrations that he airbrushed called the Necronomicon.
Are they
And
satanic?
some of them are, yeah. There's Baphomets and some of them are not satanic in the sense of trying to drive people to evil means. It's just satanic in terms of the illustrations being referenced. But you know, we got a lot of that, and then Ridley Scott came across Necronom 4 and I think Necronom 11. There's 2 very specific ones, and they have that very, very classic elongated balloon head at the back of them, except they're just penises, Michael. In the actual
dick head.
In the actual paintings, they're just penises. One of them,
dickheads.
Necronom number 4, is unmistakably phallic. And for some reason, Ridley Scott went, yes,
I'm having that.
I'm having that.
Get it in.
So he got in touch with H.R. Geiger, and H.R. Geiger was like, oh yeah, I like the sound of this. He was from Switzerland, by the way, which is why we're doing a very gentle Swiss-German accent.
Yeah. Hello, Rolfie. Would you like to see my pictures of penises?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of that going on. And in fairness to H.R. Geiger, H.R. Geiger at this point has a wealth of artistic education. He is an architect or he was an architect and an industrial designer first and foremost, who then went into kind of the realms of the surreal and things like that. So that industrial design background is heavily evident in everything that he does. And architecture as well. It's why he builds those big cathedrals of, you know, flesh and bone, and it's very strange. So he was brought on, and then another guy called Seymour was brought on to the Alien film, and Ridley Scott came up with this kind of, I think it's very clever, but it could just be Ridley Scott, you know, polishing his own horn, so to speak. But he put Seymour on the human stuff, and he put Geiger on the alien stuff.
Very clever.
And he describes it as 2 minds for 2 worlds. 2 different minds for 2 different worlds.
Great stuff. Love it. Absolutely love it.
And I think it's very, very clever, and I think it went very, very well, because there is nobody like H.R. Geiger at that time. H.R. Geiger approaches things in a really twisted way.
No, Benjamin, that's not to say the design of both sides of Aliens are absolutely spectacular.
Phenomenal.
Incredible. The design of that film is incredible.
But you could not have looked out more in choosing H.R. Geiger to design your alien landscapes, because they are
You're
the
saying
most...
that a funny way. Do you mean alien?
Aliens? Yes, sorry, aliens. Design your alien landscapes, because that is the only word you could use to describe the mind of H.R. Geiger. It is something else. There is something informing his work that most humans cannot even hope to imitate, because you're just looking at it going, what the fuck? What is this?
No. Get it off me.
Get it off me. Don't make it do that. And
I don't want it anywhere near me.
When I was researching for this podcast, Michael, one of the awful things that I came across, one of the awful and brilliant things that I came across was one man says his background as an industrial designer makes him design things as functioning objects. And that is why the alien, despite coming in 3 very distinct forms in the original Alien film, so you have the face hugger, you have the parasite, you have the chest burster, and you have the xenomorph, which is what he would eventually become. Yeah, that is never, ever, ever explained in boring dialogue, or no one ever comes on screen. He's like, well, we've studied it extensively, Jim, and it's some kind of power. You don't need to understand that. The life cycle of the xenomorph is incredibly clear from point A to B to C.
Take that, Alien Covenant, or whatever it was called.
Oh man. So it gets kind of sad from there, because the first 2 Alien films are stratospherically successful, and they give attribution to H.R. Geiger, and it really launches his career. And
I don't think he loved 2 though, did he?
He didn't love 2.
No.
He kicked off a lot with 2, but that is possibly what led to Alien 3 not crediting him, right? And all subsequent Aliens trying to remove him from any kind of accreditation, which is
you get into a weird thing there about copyright and ownership and creating for hire.
Absolutely. The xenomorph is not, technically, it's not a necronom. The xenomorph is inspired by the necronom, who would then go on to, do that. So I suppose it's a little bit like a degree of separation again, like you were talking about earlier on.
Yeah. But also, the space jockey is his other massive contribution to that film.
Yes, the bizarre ship, isn't it? The
bizarre ship with the giant alien sitting in the chair.
Yeah.
And we're like, what's happened here? What was in this fella? What's going on? And great stuff, very mysterious, and really just set design. Yeah. But that then inspired the entirety of the follow-on Dreadful series of
Covenants.
It was this fella. Yeah, it was Michael Fassbender actually, and look, here's what's going on exactly, and someone explain all the movements and everything. It's much worse.
It was Michael Fassbender the whole time.
It was Michael Fassbender the whole time. It was 2 Michael Fassbenders having an erotic moment.
He's actually going to be the replacement for you on the podcast, and then it will just be Fassbender and Cavill.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
Which sounds like one of those mid-90s Channel 4 comedy duos. Fassbender and Cavill.
Yeah, like Lee and Herring.
Yeah, exactly. Or Morecambe and Wise or something like that.
They're practically the same. Benjamin.
Yes.
But that's not all he was doing.
No.
He wasn't only doing Aliens. Because I've done you an absolute huge favour.
What have you done?
I've gone and watched the other film that had probably the second most input from H.R. Geiger. And it was the time when H.R. Geiger was famous.
Okay.
So he had already become famous from Alien and Aliens.
Very good.
And then his name became big enough that if we put H.R. Geiger on the poster of this, we are going to sell gangbusters.
Ah.
So what they did, Benjamin, was they created the film Species.
I remember Species.
Do you remember the film Species, Benjamin?
I remember Species.
It was the Hollywood debut and pretty much only film of actress Natasha Henstridge.
Yeah, she was the lady, and the tag was the female is more deadly than the male.
Yeah, it was one of the very few films where women were the baddies.
Women were, in fact, the baddies.
Women were the baddies in that one. It wasn't. It was still men, Benjamin, because she was an alien, you see.
So she just used what lecherous men wanted to...
No, she was definitely the baddie, Ben.
Oh, was she?
But she was... Yeah, it was from the era where the monsters are just monsters. But she was...
good.
If you remember that era. Have you seen it recently, Ben?
Species?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the film Species.
The cast, Benjamin. Ben Kingsley, your mate Ben Kingsley.
That's fucking huge. We're in the Ben Club together. We see each other every second Sunday.
You're always texting him on the Benternet.
Yeah.
Your other mate, Michael Madsen.
Yeah, I text him on the Banternet.
Yeah, he's on the Banternet with you. Alfred Molina, Benjamin.
Oh, yeah, he sometimes gets honorary membership into the Ben Club.
Dr. Octopus himself, Forrest Whitaker.
That cast is fucking phenomenal.
Incredible cast, Benjamin.
That's a who's who of heavy hitters.
one of the most incredible wastes of a cast you've ever seen in your life. It's unbelievable as a cast. Anyway, Benjamin, so aliens send a message to humans and say, here's how you make aliens. And the humans are like, sound, yeah, that sounds like it couldn't possibly go wrong. So they make an alien. And they make an alien, Ben, and they decide to make it as a female so it would be more docile and easier to control.
Oh, that's hell. Well, the villains are men, Michael. Get out of here.
As you and I, Ben, know, that's a bloody mistake. It's 1995. This is fine. So,
no, it isn't.
No, it's fine. It's 1995. It was fine. So, she grows up, Benjamin, to sexy Natasha Henstridge, and she's very naive and innocent and not understanding, but also sexy.
Yes, okay.
So,
otherwise known as the worst trope, born sexy yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the second worst trope. The worst trope is Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney, one of the worst tropes.
There's no Sigourney Weaver in this. But Benjamin, what she wants to do is, have you ever heard of the, oh crap, this is going to be a good joke, but I've forgotten the name of the band. Have you ever heard of the Ace of Base song, Benjamin? All That She Wants.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's all that she wants. She wants a baby.
Oh, okay.
So she's going to go and seduce innocent men.
Okay.
Normal, innocent men. And she's going to try and get impregnated by this.
Is that a TikTok joke? Did you just make it? We're just innocent men.
We're just normal innocent
men.
Yeah, it was. So she goes and seduces these normal, innocent men, Ben. But they're all horrible men from the 90s, as you can imagine.
Yeah, they just pretend to be nice.
Yeah, but when she's doing a sex on them, that's the terminology I use, Benjamin, because I'm a fucking misogynist. When she's giving them a big sex, she turns into, guess what she turns into?
A praying mantis?
A Geiger-esque monstrosity, Benjamin.
Oh, good. That's better than what I had.
Yeah, no, why would she turn into a praying mantis? And what would that have to do with the topic of this week's podcast?
I thought she was going to eat his head off.
No, she doesn't eat his head off, Benjamin. She's got a long prehensile tongue that she can stab you with.
Oh, that's good.
And tentacles are coming out of literally everywhere. Literally everywhere. So she's very Geiger-esque, Benjamin. Her skin is translucent.
Very good.
And you can see her biomechanical insides.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And she's got a big distended head. Not quite as big and penisy as the alien xenomorphs.
But it's still a big distended head.
It's still a big distended head and biomechanical limbs and, you know, the classic Geiger-esque. But one of the best bits, Ben, is watching the behind the scenes of Species.
Right.
Because there's a little mini documentary about Geiger's creations for it.
Well, that'll be good.
Oh, this is very strange. One of the best bits, Benjamin, is he has the torso of Syl. That's her name.
Okay.
He has the torso. And she has the boobies. And he says, yeah, and look, from the boobies we can have something come out. We'll have maybe a tentacle come out from the boobies and kill him. And you watch that behind the scenes and you go, oh yeah, he is weird, actually.
He is weird. He's a weird guy.
Yeah, and guess what happens in the film, Ben?
Does a tentacle come out of the boobie? And
a tentacle comes out of the boobies. It strangles Michael Madsen.
With massive apologies, ladies and gentlemen, to the Swiss German community that listens to this podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, tentacles come out of the boobies.
And they take care of the business.
It's great stuff. And Ben, there's a weird nightmare sequence in it where she has a nightmare about a ghost train.
Why?
I think because, honestly, do you want my honest opinion on this?
Go on.
I think it's because they got Geiger involved and realised that only having Geiger design the alien, and only when she's either having sex or at the end when she turns fully into the alien, wasn't Geiger-esque enough.
So they did a big phallic train going into a tunnel in her dreams?
Exactly, yeah. So they could put it in the trailer and say, look how Geiger-esque this is.
Look at that ghost train. Woo, woo.
It's a ghost train. It's a train made of skulls and vaginas.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of his stuff is made of skulls and vaginas. Let's not lie to each other.
And tentacles coming out of the boobas.
So what I found out, Michael, was he was not only did he design a lot of the stuff for the Alien movie, he built the Alien practical effects.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea about this. He used a real human skull in it.
Yeah.
Oh, so fucking weird, man.
He's a weird fella.
There were bits of real bone built into the xenomorph. There's condoms for lips.
Yeah.
And there's bloody...
Not used ones,
thankfully. And yeah, he used a real human skull in the xenomorph. Fucking
Spooky,
weird,
scary
man.
Spooky, scary stuff altogether.
Spooky, scary stuff altogether. But that's interesting. I look forward to seeing what other biomechanical stuff we're going to kind of see
coming up
as we go through. Yeah, if we're doing your degrees of separation, that'd be pretty good.
There's one last thing to briefly mention, Ben.
Go on.
Because as we said, Geiger himself didn't, like, he was doing art books and stuff and paintings and
he was a painting nerd.
Painting nerd and art stuff and doing the thing. But one of his other famous things was less famous than the other stuff, but a computer game from the 90s called Dark Seed. Have you ever heard of it?
There's some kind of bell going off in the back of my brain, Michael, but I'll need a refresher course.
So it was the first ever high definition video game.
Well, that's a big deal, isn't it?
480 by 640 or something.
Oh yeah, but, fucking cutting edge stuff there.
That was big news. That was big news in 1993.
Big news for the boys.
It's a pointy-clicky adventure, Ben.
Pointy-clicky adventure.
It's a pointy-clicky adventure. What you would know about it, most likely, and what you would remember about it, was that the cover really stood out from video games of the time.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's real different, isn't it?
Yeah. Very Giger-esque.
Yes.
A creepy lady with her eyes slightly rolled back in her head, and all sorts of biomechanical snakes and skeletons coming off of her.
Because he loved that.
Oh, I'm mad for it, Ben. Absolutely mad for it. I played it in the 90s on my crappy PC.
Was it good?
But in the late 90s, long after it had come out, Ben, and it unnerved me to the point of I didn't like it. And actually, no, I tell a lie. I didn't like it.
Okay.
And I wonder now if I didn't like it because, like, there were things that were just skull penises, baby head skull penises.
I mean, baby head skull penises would make me not like things.
Yeah. So it's kind of it's about a breakdown in reality. It's a almost Silent Hill-esque adventure where there are two worlds. One world is the normal world.
And there's the biomechanical network underneath it, is there?
Exactly, Ben. And are you going mad or is it real?
Oh, that's gross. It's gross and horrible.
Exactly. Good, though.
Good, gross and horrible.
Yeah. It got a sequel. It was good. It was good.
That's how good it was.
Yeah, and anything that gets a sequel is good. Looking forward to Black Adam 2.
Yeah, Black Adam 2 is going to be good. Avatar 2 is going to be great. Nothing can go wrong with that. Avatar, the sequels are the best, Michael. So, as commenter One Rule would say, I sense another milestone in cinematic history coming. Can't wait. That was amazing. I've been waiting impatiently. Fire emoji from Brusik Redur. It's going to be really interesting, Michael. Another very helpful one from another commenter there, Michael, for Avatar 2 is, anyone know if this will be offered in 3D? The first one blew my mind due to that effect, but and it would be a shame for it not to be in 3D the second time. What a wonderful piece of technology. Very human comments from very human people that definitely aren't being paid.
Benjamin, ask the listeners about what's their favourite Geiger-esque stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's your favourite creepy distended head? Get in touch with us. Ben.
Bloody got him.
Old pencil head Ben there with his weird sharpened distended point for a skull. Right, ladies and gentlemen, get in touch with us in a few different places. You can find us on the interwebs at www.seomrabeag.com, SEOMRABEAG.com.
It means tiny room in Irish, actually.
It does indeed. That's exactly what it means. You can then get out of here.
Exactly. I wouldn't say exactly.
It means room small, technically.
Small room, yeah.
Room small, if we're being literal.
Well, we're not though.
We're not though. It's a loosey goosey vibe. Anyway. Linguistic pedantry aside, you can also find us on Instagram at @SherLookSherListen.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter at ListenSure.
Listen, sure, yeah.
And that's about it. That's where you can find it. Oh, no, wait!
Oh, wait a second.
If you want to share your deepest, darkest fandom for weird biomechanical things, you can hop up on that Discord, baby.
Hop up on it.
Where you can make yourself a little avatar and interact with us there on the web.
You could make a little avatar, some sort of little creepy skull head penis man.
Yeah, you could if you wanted. Please don't. That'll be very disturbing to have pop up being like, "Hi lads, love the episode this week." That'd be weird. And we'd be like, "Oh, it's weird, creepy little baby skull guy."
Biomechanical nightmare.
Right, that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. Bye bye.
All right, bye. See you next week.